Hey viewers, welcome to the show. This is actually a special segment of the show. It's my personal segment called Pleading the Case, and I will try to convince you to do something or try something or watch something that you wouldn't have done if I hadn't tried to convince you to do it. Today will be my first episode. I'm going to try to do the hardest thing, one of the hardest things, and I'm going to try to convince you to watch my personal favorite live action show, Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica. Not counting anime, of course, because then my favorite has to be Dragon Ball Z. But we're talking about live action. So, if you probably noticed from the title, it's a sci-fi show. I know a lot of you are like, "Oh no, we're not gonna watch no sci-fi." You know, a lot of people for some reason think because it's science fiction that it's too weird for them. But that's ridiculous. The main reason I like sci-fi, among other things, is because it's another way to put things. You can really talk about some serious topics. You throw in some aliens or something. It's hard to explain, but maybe you'll get it when I get finished with the video. First off, Battlestar Galactica is called Battlestar Galactica because in the universe of the show, a battlestar is like a battleship. It's a giant ship that has other smaller fighter ships, and it holds a giant crew. And it's called a battle star because it's in space, and Galactica is the personal name of the ship. So Battlestar Galactica is set in a universe that's not ours. It's like in another solar system, but there's humans there, and these humans live. They don't have a planet, but they have these 12 colonies, and huge colonies though. But they have these 12 colonies, and each one has a battle star to represent it, and Galactica just happens to be the oldest one in the fleet. It's obsolete. The commander, William Odama, he's about to retire. It's like the last day for the ship. They celebrating it or whatever, and then all 12 colonies get attacked by Cylons. And Cylons are these robots that the humans invented and used them as slaves, but they were artificially intelligent, which means they could think for themselves. And they rebelled, and it was this big war, and but the war has been over for 40 years when you start the show. There was a treaty involved, and they split the solar system, and neither side was supposed to cross the other side. So the Cylons end up attacking. They just kill most of the people that exist, and the Battlestar Galactica is seemingly the only Battlestar to survive. And so you're following this crew, all their family is probably dead. Everybody they know is probably dead. And they're running away from the biggest threat ever. And there's other ships, like passenger ships or civilian ships. And then there's one political ship. And if you know how the chain of command works in the military and politics, because Commander Adama is the highest ranking officer to survive, he is the general over the military, or the admiral over the military. And this woman named she's the Secretary of Education, and she becomes the president because she's the highest ranking political official still alive. Her name's Laura. I can't remember, Laura Roslin. So they both become like the #1 people in humanity. So they're trying to lead these people, the human race, to salvation. And it's really deep. Like, it really grips you because it's about survival. I once saw on this top 10 list, if you look it up, Battlestar Galactica is known as one of the top 10 shows in the last decade, and probably in the top 15 all time. But somebody said it perfectly. It's a drama that just so happens to be in space. So it's in space, yeah, but there's no aliens. It's just the humans and the robots. So they can talk about topics like God, because you don't have to worry about where the aliens came from. The people came from God, and the robots came from the people. But it's intense things, so you can see humans pushed to their brink. It really fleshes out human beings, and I really do think that they did an excellent, perfect job on this show. I'm telling you, when you watch it, you're looking and like, okay, this is what really would happen if a person was faced with this situation. You know, with making hard decisions, with knowing that they might not survive and that they're the last of their race. You know, it's very daunting on the people. They get weary. They lose heart. But Commander Adama, I would have to say, in also being my favorite character, is probably the leading character. He pushes the people. They trust him, most of them, and he really brings them back. He gives them hope. He gives these brilliant speeches throughout the entire series. There's about, I'd say, three other main characters: Laura Roslin, Kara Thrace, who is known as Starbuck, and Lee Adama, Commander Adama's son, who is known as Apollo. They have nicknames because they're both fighter pilots. But the Cylons, they're robots, but they actually have androids that look like humans. They feel like humans. If you cut them, they bleed red. There's practically no way to tell if it's a human or a Cylon in disguise. And if you know what a sleeper agent is, this is the perfect example. They place certain Cylons in humanity, and some of them don't even know they're Cylons, and they're just waiting for a signal to mess something up. So you gotta be like, okay, is this person a Cylon? Are they human? People that you'll fall in love with as characters could be the enemy. But another beautiful thing about this, you really don't know what's good and evil. Of course, you're going to side with the humans at first, but they really put up good cases for every side of either argument. So you kind of got to see it from both points of view. But the main thing is that the cast is so strong. Not just the 4 people I named. It's like 20 characters that you'll see reoccurring that are solid enough that every time you see an episode and it's like, oh, it's about this person, you're going to love it. I don't think I was disappointed the whole series. It's like 5 seasons long, but it was the best show on television, and that was surprising because it was on Sci-Fi, and usually the best shows are on movie channels like HBO or Stars. But I'm telling you, look it up. Okay, look it up. Look at a review. Actually, the first 2 or 3 episodes were put into a mini series that was like a movie to start off the series, because each episode is like about an hour with commercials. But I would advise you, if you're going to watch it, to watch it on Netflix or order it on Netflix through disc, because Blockbuster doesn't have all the discs. But I promise you're going to love it. Please try it out and let me know what you think.